Game we are about to set up. You haven't done any of the setup that I've done. How the game works is you choose a faction for each player.
Okay.
There will be what are called Warcasters. You have 5 total in the box. You pick 3 for each battle. On the Warcaster card itself, you'll notice that there are detachment color cards.
Okay.
So you will pick your 3 Warcasters. For this time, we've done 2%.
Okay.
You will then pick one of the colors on each Warcaster card. So, for example, if you're playing Denegro, you're like, I want the orange detachment and I want the purple detachment. You will take those detachment cards which match your reinforcement deck. You shuffle, each one is 12 cards. You shuffle those 12 cards together. This will form the cards that you're going to use as your market. Each player has an individual market then chosen based on what Warcaster and what detachments they want.
Okay.
So even if you play the same 3 Warcasters again, you could have 6, 12 different attachments. Each detachment color itself also has a different theme to it. So one detachment might have more infantry. Another one might have more robots and or beast. Another one might have better resource management cards or shuffling cards and other tricks and shenanigans. Once you have shuffled and chosen, you'll deploy 4 cards from your reinforcement deck to your reserve marketplace page. You will then have an army deck that are all basic resources. These are non-colored. Army decks on top right for this demo purposes. You will draw, I'm going to take a turn for you.
No, go ahead.
But you will draw 6 cards at the beginning of each of your turns. Each card has several different features. Every single card has a resource management, an attack and defense value, and any additional rules it might have. Again, all the basic cards are resource cards. They will either have command or war. You will notice on each of your cards, they either have a purchase cost for command or a purchase cost of war. So you would spend 4 war for this 4 purchase cost. When you spend it, these all go into your discard pile. You immediately refresh from your reserve deck onto your reserve line. Later on in the game, just peeking around turn 3, there will be combat, and that will really be important. I'm not going to go over all the basics of that just yet, because right now I want you guys to be able to build your decks.
Okay.
The important things I need you to remember are the game ends when all of the Winds of War cards are exhausted. So there are going to be 5 turns.
Okay.
The first player flips the first card at the beginning of his turn. Before he does anything else, he flips the Winds of War card. There will be different effects on the Winds of War. Some make your guys more powerful, some make them more hardier, some make things cheaper to buy, and the one death card ends the game. In order to win the game, you have victory points. The location cards have the largest victory points, but you'll also notice that some of your resource decks and reserve decks have victory points as well. So as you're buying the army cards themselves, you'll be increasing your chances to win the game, and you buy the army cards to try and get the bigger victory point cards. So, do you want to go first?
I'd love to.
6 cards.
All right.
Where are you?
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so we have
So what happens?
arrayed for battle. There are few sights more awe-inspiring than a powerful army mustered for battle. Whether there are knights gleaming in polished mail or endless hordes of the walking dead.
Alright, so for this turn there are no bonuses. Excuse me, I'm sorry. There are no bonuses to this extra round. It's just a straight up round. So draw 6 cards.
Okay, so just go open hand, I guess?
Yeah, we can go open hand if you want some up.
Okay, so got a bunch of command, a bunch of war, and I'd like to purchase some things.
Alright,
So
2 more important things now that we're looking at cards. You will know some cards have both values. You can only use a card for a single value.
okay.
Additionally, you pick one or the other. Very good. Additionally, you will see that let's say he needs to buy a 3 resource card, but only had 4. You have to use the entire value of the card on that resource. So there's no floating in the game. Additionally, let's say you have you've spent all of your cards, you have 1 card left. You are allowed to bank 1 card from each round to add to your pool next time. So if you don't have enough to buy fun stuff, you can save it.
Okay, I would like to maybe spend 4 command rather, to purchase a brute thrall horde.
Very good. So I'll just go in your discard
Those
pile.
go there, and then
You refresh your reserve deck.
immediately after buying. Okay.
Immediately. Then we can get better cards.
Okay.
You don't cheat yourself out of something awesome.
All right. So then I'd like to do 2 more commands for a just one of these standard guys. And okay, I'll do. Oh, sorry. Yep. I guess all I can really buy now is just this one.
Okay.
For the 2 commands.
And And you're allowed to bank that card if you want to.
Sure.
All right, your turn, sir. So 6 cards.
At what point do I draw back up? Is that not till...
Beginning of your turn.
So is it generally beneficial to purchase units here? Is it generally beneficial to purchase units first, some, and then like stuff?
Okay,
Like
so
resources or
important things. We're only going 5 rounds. The game, generally speaking, goes 15.
Okay.
So to buy the resource cards that offer you things like 4 in a long game is going to be really important. Because every time you shuffle your deck, you're allowed to remove 1 card from it, from the game. So you're eventually going to start getting rid of your scrub reinforcement cards to get the better ones. And you want to increase your chance of drawing, so you want to get rid of the scrub cards as much as possible. For this particular game, we have 5 rounds. You've got to think about the best way to start getting cards out to get those big victories. Now, it's not to say that this is not going to be an amazing card, because it's going to give you 4, which will eventually allow you to buy things, but I'm not going to tell you your strategy. You've got to decide, Mr. Ascension Master.
what is the rush?
When we get to combat, you can pay the rush cost, which is usually much more expensive than the buy cost, to take something directly from your reserve line and put it into play. You cannot rush the first 2 turns of the game.
Okay.
There's also not going to be in combat the first 2 turns of the game because the basic deck is only resource cards. But starting around turn 3, we're going to get into combat. And this you're like my last table, who only like everybody picked a specific location and didn't fight each other, which would make me sad because you should be fighting
Awful
each
boring
other.
game.
Right?
That's right.
Oh wow.
Let's not play a game called War Machine if you're not gonna go to war.
So 5
Very good.
command to grab that guy.
Great.
All right.
Fresh. Excellent. +1.
Let's see. I can't purchase him.
Just not until combat. They can only
Okay.
be used in combat, and they're a one-shot deal. Again, when we get to turn 3, I'll explain them a little bit more.
All right.
But right now, don't worry about it. Just know that you need guys to go and when you land.
Right. But it doesn't look like I can purchase anything else. Is that correct?
Yes. You can bank 1 card. I will tell you another thing. You're allowed to spend as many cards as you want. Every card you discard, you're allowed to take 1 card from a reserve deck and place on the bottom of your reserve deck. So let's say you only have war resources in your hand and you only have infantry available for buying. You can discard a card to try and get something new. That way you're never stuck. The game wants you to be active. It wants you to be involved. It wants you to be happy. I mean, you're playing a game to have fun.
Right.
So if you feel stuck, you're allowed to refresh, or you can save a card for next turn and just hope.
I'll just save a card for next turn and be done.
So it goes in your bank pile, and it's your turn, sir.
So I am drawing these, right? The armies.
You're going to draw 6. Thank you.
So, Commander War. Okay, so I'm gonna use these. 1,
Okay.
2, 5. He costs us 5 war, right?
Yep, it costs 5, and then it goes into your discard pile.
Okay.
You draw a new one.
And then I am going to. Then I will do. Once per turn. Draw 2, and these all cost 2. So I will spend these 6 to get these.
Sounds excellent. Refresh, and you're good.
6
And refresh.
Well, I mean, like these guys, I think.
and 4 command.
So there's other warcasters somewhere, and then.
But I already spent those. So.
All right. So, turn 2. Very good. Excellent. Flip over a new probably. Secret now, we're going to go closed hands now. I want to
then.
see some combat, alright?
All right, we got Requisition. The cost of the first card you purchase this round is decreased by 2 command or 2 war. All right, so this is a little bit cheaper.
Alright. There are 2 keywords that are going to be important. Purchase is when you're buying from your reserve to place in your discard pile. If it says deployed, that is from your hand to the table. If it says rush, from reserves to it. So this explicitly states that buying the first thing is cheaper. Some will say everything you buy is cheaper. So, draw your 6 cards.
Up to 6, so I don't
No, 6 cards.
6, even though I saved
Yes,
one.
because you banked one, so you get a bonus card.
I didn't bank this.
But to be fair, you bought a whole bunch of fun.
That's true, you can buy a lot of stuff. So now I've got, that's all my army deck then.
Yes, this is going to be important in a second.
Okay, so let's see, I've got a bunch of score. Alright, so I would like to, it's 2 cheaper this time?
The first thing.
The very first thing, okay. So I guess I would do
And this is 4 and 4.
4 and 4 plus
Yep, it's
4.
a little plus.
Oh, gotcha, wow. Alright. Okay, so I'll do, so I'll do 2 less, so 2 commands,
Okay.
plus the 4 war.
Got it.
Alright,
Good job.
Pop this into here.
Fresh? Sorry.
Okay, so now, so this is the 1 command or 3 war? Or purchase,
And it gives you 1 command and 3 1.
oh, sorry,
These
gotcha.
are better resource management cards.
I'm just gonna start
Gotcha.
leaving
Okay, so-
periodically.
Yeah, let's do 4, 5.
Fresh?
And I believe that's all I can do.
Alright, so you're going to bank it?
Bank it.
Alright, your turn, sir. So you had 1 bank card, draw 6.
So things cost 2 less.
The first thing is 2 less.
Okay. Then
I should get a shot at you in action.
so if I do that, I can grab him.
Okay. Very good.
Okay. I can do that and grab him. Okay. I think I'm done. Well, unless. Yeah. Good. Good. Excuse me. No problem.
Next turn. Next turn, fun times are going to happen.
Alright.
Okay, well, I guess that's up to you guys. You could each pick your own resource, just
Not
camp location.
I'm taking one.
There
You
is
guys out.
1 location placed on the table at the start per person. So if you have
Okay.
8, there are 8. If you have 3, there are 3.
Makes sense.
So it scales.
Does that mean that there's going to be less combat because there's more locations?
I'm not playing.
No, well, like when
You
there's-
decide how friendly you want to be, sir.
I'm saying when there's 8 people, you've got 8 locations. Oh, alright.
It
You
depends.
played Smash Up?
Yeah, love stuff.
Yeah.
Get this guy,
It's the same concept. Like it's so that
and
one.
I'm making 1.
Like you had so many
He only had.
faces.
Are you good?
Yeah, I banked 1.
Okay, so
The way this is gonna work similar.
I've got 3 command.
You know how the
Gonna
first part's
buy-
about 9 loses?
Yes. Yep.
No, that's this one.
When you start seeing people place cards to locations,
And you
it's gonna be the
refresh.
same thing. You want to play those screw cards so that you stop them from getting that
Let's
level.
see. I don't have 4 command and 4 wars,
You guys are at least
so
gonna take each other out.
We definitely got to take each other out.
Because you're speaking, if everybody's going to place one location, then it's just.
I have 3 command
You need to deny.
and 5 war.
Where's the command listed on that card?
Command right there.
When you
And
shuffle,
then I
you
have
start calling.
5 war, but you have to choose one or the other to spend. You can't do
You have
it.
to choose one resource, and then you cannot use both in the same card.
5.
I'll wait.
I don't have any war. I guess this one.
No, that one.
That's Castle
That's your word. It's only these.
Oh, okay.
Only these 4 are already marked as this.
So 3 rounds are
You could always discard a card to put one of these on the bottom and try and get.
Yeah, that's alright. I'll buy this.
Discard.
That's
You're gonna buy that, right?
command.
more, and then we have to get the red box.
So that's these 2.
Okay.
And then I
Refresh.
can. That's right. Okay, so I'll bank that one and. There you
Okay,
go.
very good. Now, start of turn 3. This is where things are going to get really super fun. Before flip the card, let me throw some things back.
Yep, go ahead.
You are not going to be able to start deploying units theoretically, depending on how you shuffled your deck and if it's shuffled nicely, to the different victory point conditions and locations. Combat occurs at the end of every player's turn. Regardless of whether or not that particular player is actively involved in the combat, all combats happen. So there should, in theory, continually be fighting if you are not camping.
Okay.
Additionally, you have your Warcasters, which are a one-shot, super powerful resource. This is to either stop somebody from scoring or to help you score. You'll notice that Warcasters can only be rushed. This means they can only be deployed from your reserve straight to a battle. Once that battle is over, they are removed from the game. Okay? Each Warcaster has stats just like the rest of the cards with an attack value and defense value. Their defense values are always dashes. You cannot kill Warcaster because it's going to die anyway. Additionally, Warcasters will have special rules on themselves. The first one is almost always going to be Battle Group Commander, which makes all other Warjacks, and if you look at cards, there's a type class under it, so it says Warjack. So you give all other Warjacks at their location +1 power. They will also have a special rule. So for example, this one makes everybody else's health, which is the little shield value, 1 less. This guy draws a card if you destroy cards. One of yours makes units cheaper, one makes units more hitty. Excuse me. When you have cards at a location, assuming that there are only 2 people there, you straight up fight each other. You add up all of your attack values and kill that many defense values worth of critters. These are allowed to be floaty, so let's say you have like one guy who does 4, one who does 6, and they have 2 5s, so you'll be able to kill both 5s. Alright? You choose who you destroy. Alright, so I am going to attack that Warjack or that infantry, and you are allowed to choose what you're going after. Attacks happen simultaneously, so stuff is going to die everywhere. Right? If there are more than 1 player or 2 players at the location, like let's say you have 2 cards here and everybody else has 1 card, the person to the active player's left is in charge of all other cards. So they're the ones who are in charge of adding up the attack value and the defense value. So they use your resources to choose what dies. He still gets to pick and kill whatever he wants. How you claim a resource in a land card is if at the start of any of your turns you have 2 more resource cards at that location than any other player, you score it. The cards you use to score are removed from the game. Everybody else's cards go into their discard piles. Alright? So let's say, again, you have 2 cards, they each have 1. You do not add them together, so you don't have 3. You have 1 opponent card, he has 2. If he had 3 cards there, even though each of you have 1, he would still score because he has 2 more than the highest player's cards. Alright, before we get into combat, are there any other questions?
So what happens if you're the only one at a location?
You just take it. If you have 2 cards. As long as you have 2 cards there, you take the resource.
And you can take any location.
You can deploy to any location. You can deploy 1 on all of them. You can go all for 1. You can. That is on you and your strategize.
So if he was able to play 2 units here, he just gets it right away.
Not until the beginning of his next turn. He has to survive a round of harassment from the rest of you. Right. Now,
And then when I get the location, then that's
when you get the location, it goes into your discard pile, but the cards used to get it are removed from the game. So you'll notice that these have great resources, but the ones that have higher victory points tend to have lower. So this one's worth 7 victory points, but it only gives you 1. Whereas there's like one in here that's like 3 victory points, gives you 4. So you have to decide what your long game plan is.
All the
Right?
cards played to a location are removed from the game.
Only if you win. And they're removed from the game until you add up victory points. So it stops somebody from getting an early lead and having 3 powerful units and continually using, like, you know how I said you get the level 7 right after that you win? It kind of tries to dilute that a little bit, so you can't continue to use those things. Now, that said, you will notice the cards, again, have special abilities. Some will say instead of being moved to the Occupying Forces section, it's discarded. Alright? Now, the first time, or not the first time, but every time you have to reshuffle your deck, you're allowed to call one card from it, from your army deck to your occupying forces. So this is how you get rid of those basic resources to exchange for the greater resources.
How do you know if you're playing a certain tech trait?
You will notice that each card has a happy little flag on it. In the box game, there's a sheet that tells you what. You, sir, are playing the Protector of Minoth. You are playing Signar and Swans. You're playing Krix, and you're playing Khador.
Which one am I playing?
Protector of Minoth, Khador, Krix.
He's playing Krix.
Yep.
Okay, so just the first time?
Every time you
Every time
reshuffle your deck.
Oh, you take one out, okay.
I gotta shuffle this.
Alright, so we do that, and then we flip a high command card.
Yep.
I'm confused. What are we supposed to be taking out?
You're allowed to remove these. Go in here and discard because you bought them.
So everybody.
No, I just, this is the one I banked. And then I took this one out. Wait, no, this is the one I
Okay.
banked. And then I took this one out, but I think I'm confused as to why you take them out.
You take the cards out to get better cards. So this
Okay,
is
so
going here
I don't
because you
want to take
do
this
not
one out
want it.
because this is a good card.
That is a great card.
All right.
So what you want to do is eventually, again, you'll notice like some of these have better. So this is a 2/2. Maybe you want to get rid of a 1/1 card in the hopes that you'll draw this one in your hand more often.
Okay, so where do you get rid of it?
Just put the bank there. It goes in occupying forces if you're removing it from the game. And you're good.
So you normally just reshuffle at the beginning of your turn, whatever that is, because it's going to be different.
In the game. Yes. Because now theoretically, he might have bought 4 things, right? So it will take him longer. You might have not bought anything.
The card I take out when I play. That's just
Into the occupying forces.
Face
this
up
is the
or
card
down.
I've never played again.
You will never play again.
And this is my
If you
bank
need
card.
to, you can remove it to the side. You can do whatever works best for you, just don't get confused. And you will never play it again until we get to the end, and then we'll add up the victory points to see who won.
Alright, so there's my new army deck.
Alright guys, fresh recruits. Warrior cards gain +1 health this round.
I knew the minus 2 last time. I forgot about the minus 2 for the first card.
Alright, so we actually would place them.
Now you can. Oh, these are the important things. I'm sorry, I
Start
forgot to tell you guys
attacking.
about this. All right, the purchase cost is how much it takes to pick the card up from reserve, spend your card pile. It is also the cost to place it from your hand onto a location. You'll notice that there's a rush value. If you want to pay the rush value, you can move it straight from your reserves to a location. But generally speaking, it's really expensive. So you've got to commit to winning that one.
So first they go from here to here, then from
No.
here.
First, if you just purchase, if you just play the purchase price, it goes into your discard pile. If this is in your hand, you play the purchase cost
it's in
to
your
the play.
hand.
If it's on the reserve deck, you pay the rush cost, which is why Warcasters can only ever be rushed.
So we all draw 6 now, or we wait new card?
You can go.
I can figure out what I want to do.
I feel you guys got this. I'm not gonna baby you. You two promised me combat. I expect you to deliver on
I
said
promise, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. Or my combat's going to be pretty pathetic.
Yeah. One
Always
card.
excuses, right? Always.
I suppose you get to use this when you're deploying.
No.
Alright,
You can only use, excuse me, you can only use a card for its resource cost or its deployment value. So you cannot use a resource on a card to deploy itself.
okay, so I'm going to pay 2 commands
Excellent.
to pop out a Stitched Undead Warrior. I'll pop him on the...
Now remember, you're playing Krix. But he is, or she's playing Khador, so you might, it's up to you. Again, your strategy.
Yeah, definitely.
How you want
Okay.
to do it?
Good call. Didn't read that one, so thank you.
All right, what else?
One there, and let's keep it going, I guess. Let's do 2 more commands. Or another one of those guys.
It's like
There's
a Zodge of
squishy.
interest.
Yes. With an extra arm and undead zombie babies.
And then I will purchase, using 4 war, just another Slayer.
All right, sounds good. Fresh? Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so this is why I shouldn't have bought the expensive stuff, because now I can't afford it.
Well, also, and generally speaking, the expensive stuff is going to be hard to do. So he thinks we only got 2, and the type of whereas say this guy, yeah, he has 5, he's 2 times, 2 times, 4. People will kill them, and so 4. These guys
I can deploy this one from my hand, but I can't deploy the other one from my hand.
so maybe you think this one. I hope you should have one more. Okay, I'm done.
Boss.
These cards themselves.
Where's the combat?
I tried.
Where's the combat? I did my part.
If I could have, I
Come
would
on.
have deployed.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
But it is difficult. You have to
All I'm hearing is excuses over there.
One of you kept your promise. He
Yeah.
tried to this.
Yeah, I tried too.
Now I will remind you. But at my turn, start if yes sir. Right? Are you done?
Do you have all starter cards?
At this
No, I just didn't have enough to deploy.
at the start of his turn, if he has 2 more cards than anybody else here, he will gain those victory points. Just to put that out there, in case anyone else is thinking about not actively participating in combat. Not to tell somebody out who made promise.
In order to do combat, though, I have to be at that
You have to be
location.
at that location.
Okay.
You're damaging our
Then
relationship.
I
so
will,
It is in the starting stage.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna go ahead and wreak havoc.
Yes.
Alright, let's
See?
do it.
I'm gonna spend 4, and I guess go to that location.
Alright.
Oh, scary stuff.
And then
Warjack.
I am,
Alright.
just because I know again what I'm doing, I'm gonna spend 2 command and rush and get 2, right?
If we're being brutally honest, this guy is so powerful, he's going to like
Save it?
so you might want to save it.
Okay, so I'll take that.
These are support models.
I just wanted to kill everything.
Oh, you will.
Okay.
Are you done buying stuff?
Now I can buy stuff from here.
Keep buying stuff.
Man.
Just want to see what does that power do. Okay,
So this guy, how do I use him? Do I have to deploy him?
It's a rush command.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend 2.
So his specials don't apply unless I actually deploy him.
And like you'll notice like some cards have special work. Those only apply if they're on
And I will
unless they explicitly
throw
say
this
like
away
that,
and bank
start
this
your
one.
turn and make this card.
Good turn. Excellent.
Oh wait,
What's plus one
that's
power?
the
Is
discard.
that this?
Power is the first one.
Okay.
I gotta throw it away.
There's
No,
the
I
type,
think-
so
I thought
he's
you
a warrior.
discarded that one.
Oh, that's right. That's
So
right.
this
That's
guy
my
should
other one.
give
You're right.
all other
I
warjacks
gotta
plus
start
one
putting
power.
those bank ones over
So he
here.
gets
Okay.
super powerful cards.
Yeah. So if I end up with 5 power, will it defeat his 5?
So, are you good? Are you ready for combat?
I'm ready for
Alright.
All right. So you add up your powers. What are your powers?
See, mine actually should be, is it +1/+1?
For each other.
Each other Stitch Warrior, so.
Start his attack. This card and all other Stitch cards at this location gain +1 power and +1 health. So she is 1 for her, and she is 1 for her. So you are 2 power and 4 health.
Okay.
Okay. He is 2
power.
attack and 5 health.
Okay. You have one. So I can't kill him, but he can only
He's
kill
gonna kill one of your girls,
One of my guys.
which is going to stop you from scoring. You are not going to do any damage to him whatsoever, and at the end of the combat, damage resets, so your Warjack will deal. So, what would you like to kill, sir? Would you like to kill a Necrosurgeon or a Necrosurgeon? Alright, when a card's destroyed, it goes into your discard pile.
Discard pile,
It is only put in your Occupying Forces pile when you win a location.
Okay, so let me understand this. Did he have 2 health on each?
He had 2 health because they buff each other.
Okay, so he had 2 health and the 2 attacks that defeated the 2 health. Okay.
It's a warrior card, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got
Still would have killed one, right, or not?
Actually, at this point, now that I got +1 health, you
No, it would have been 3, so you would have won rush. You can rush him if you want, because that was mine. Actually, you didn't remember.
I didn't remember
So
either,
I should have rushed him, right?
You still can, right?
He could have.
I threw away a command card because I was over.
I said let's go for it. Just do it anyway.
Alright.
Well, then I would have rushed him because I know he had.
Right. Okay, so you would have rushed him. So what this does now is he gives all other Warjacks plus 1 power, so he's now 3. Alright? You also, enemy cards in this location suffer -1 power. If you had a power value, well actually you do have a power value because they buff each other. You are now back to power 0. And so you're 1, 2, 3, 1,
That's
2,
more powerful than we thought.
0, 0, 6. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he can kill 5 health worth of models. Now, as soon as you kill this, she loses the benefit.
Yep.
So this will be 3. Then she goes down to 1, 2. So you actually get to kill both of them.
And that's what I said. I want to kill everything.
All right? So these 2 are destroyed. Because you used him, he's removed from the game. And your Warjack is there feeling all full of
Hanging out.
goodness.
Okay.
Loving his spot.
So if it comes around to his turn again, that's when he'll score it?
If you have 2 cards.
If
you
you
have to
had
have
2
2
cards.
more than any
Got
other
it.
player there.
You have to have 2 more. So if I wanted to take this, I'd have to put 3 cards out.
Or 2 cards and kill it. And hope that you get back to your turn to your
Okay.
cards.
So there's 4 command. And so that puts this guy out.
Okay? Let's put down here just so I can keep track. They'll get confused when there's 4 of you throwing big time. If some people keep their promises, right now I'm not sure. At
And it
least
has
3/4 of the table.
So it has 4 health.
Done what?
You could have annihilated my guys.
Now, does his health reset on his character directly after the combat?
As soon as his turn's on.
Okay.
And so in the next combat, everybody's fine.
Right, I think that'd be easier to track.
Resources.
You're asking to command for
This
that,
guy.
right?
Yep.
Yep.
If I could use that war I was before to toss him down.
And what's his special ability do?
It gives my Warjack +1 power.
What's the second one do?
But you don't have a word yet.
Rush Warjack cards this turn pay their purchase cost instead of their rush cost.
So if you had a rush or a warjack down here, you could have rushed it for its normal cost. So are you sure you want to use this guy?
And you don't have any word yet. You're
Right.
playing a warrior.
You're only going to get his +4 bonus.
Oh, I was looking at your card. Is that what I was doing? I see. Okay. So I put these back.
I personally wouldn't do it, but I don't want to project upon you.
You need something that's going to buff your warrior.
This
Or-
guy would.
Yep. And
I
he's
need
4 on
to
You need
himself.
Four.
two warriors, and you have the two
Okay.
command instead.
So you can rush him if you want. So he gives warrior models +1 attack. So she's 4, 8, 9. And so that goes in your discard. What else do you want to buy? And or bank.
I've got. I think that one.
Don't let them know what evil you have in your hand.
Right?
Nope.
No.
You only have 4 in your marketplace.
Oh, I'm
Warcasters
sorry.
have their own special
Yeah, I
spot.
keep forgetting that.
It's okay.
And then this just. Okay.
So now we move on to combat. What is your combat total?
9.
Okay. Why is it 9?
4 plus 4 plus 1.
Alright, so 9. What's his defense?
5.
What do you want to kill? Alright. His attack is 2.
Okay.
They're normally 3 plus 1, 4, so he can't actively kill anything. So you get that back 10, puts it in his discard pile.
And this goes away.
This goes into your remove from the game pile. And what's his special ability?
After you attack at this location, if there are no enemy cards here, destroy all cards here that have Berserk.
Okay, so see how he has his berserk roll? If you had 2 of them there, and you killed all these guys, you would also kill yourself because you guys got really happy.
They like pump themselves up too much and then pow.
And then they're like,
Okay.
oh, I should not have done that. Oh man, I wonder who was watching.
Let's get
Are you
carried
done?
away.
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's see the high command. What do we have here? Coal shipment. The deploy/purchase cost of all cards is decreased by 1 war.
Nice.
One more left.
So 1 war less to purchase or deploy. And
That's
deploy
for all
Yay.
cards.
for all cards. Wow. Okay, well that changes everything.
Right? See? They're important. Do all kinds of crazy shenanigans.
No,
Okay, well, I had everything
going
planned
back
out.
and forth.
Now I gotta change this. So
We have one more round. We only don't play 5.
purchase or deploy.
This is probably going to be your last round. As soon as that card's flipped over, you're done.
Okay. By one war? Okay. Well, I will purchase this, or yeah, put this guy in play using 4 command.
Yep. Where do you want him?
I would like to. So pop him right there.
Alright.
Let's do. I will rush with this
At the
guy.
end of the game, if you have 2 more cards than your opponent, you score the allocation just as if you had won the battle.
What was the in-game conditions?
There are 2. If you remove all the location cards because people have won them, or,
If that deck runs out.
well, not necessarily, if this card is drawn that says the game ends,
Oh, and that could
in
be
the
a
actual
penny.
game itself, there are 3 different phases to the cards. So you'll see mid, early, and now it's late. In a full game, there are 15 cards in the deck.
But you don't know where that end card is in the bottom half,
So-
or 5 cards is it would be?
Yep. So
Okay.
you shuffle the first 5 early war, they go on top. Then the 5 mid war, they go under.
Could be the 11th one, it could be the 15th.
Exactly.
Awesome, I like that.
The minions are back.
Is it over to his turn now? I
Yes,
need
it
to
is.
swing around.
It was getting closer to 1 o'clock, so I figured I'd come find you since I don't have my phone.
Are you finally gonna attack?
I think I
or-
can now,
We only have
yeah.
one more turn, so if you want, you can just
So,
wait.
so we'll go for Defender Warjack there.
Nice.
And suppose I might as well rush both of these in.
Do it. He's bringing everything.
Whoa, he's bringing the heat.
Mother load! We'll avoid that area.
Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So, what do we have?
You can bring everything to war. It's actually one less, but
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I just
Wait.
he brought the
rushed
mother load.
everything.
You are only allowed to rush one warcaster per location.
Oh.
Per location.
You might as well rush
Okay.
somewhere else then.
You can throw the
That's
card
true.
back.
Does one of your warcasters perhaps have a 3 attack?
Indeed, indeed.
Interesting.
Oh, this is strange. Okay. So he's coming over here. And... Okay. That'll work.
All right, so tell me how it works.
So let's see. I've got 4 attack, 6 defense, except I've got friendly warjacks gain +1 power, so 5 attack.
What's the second part of this thing?
Enemy non-warrior cards suffer -2 health.
But yours are both warriors, so you're okay, but if you had a jack here, it would be very sad.
Okay.
So what's your total attack?
5.
What's your defense?
My defense is 6.
So bad.
Decision
making. What?
You can send 5 to someone, right?
Yep. So
Or would this be, is this +1/+1? Or is it only, is it for each? Okay. This card and all their start location gain +1/+1 until the end of turn. So yeah, it would be, so I actually have 7.
So it's a what?
It's a 1/2.
Okay.
okay. So I can kill him.
Sounds good.
Okay.
This means under this card. You have how much power?
I have 2 power, 2 attack, and there's nothing I can do. Oh well, actually I have 3 power.
Okay, but you can't count it.
Nothing I can do because his defense is too high.
So he's discarded. He goes
he goes
into
here.
your room.
He goes here,
That one sec. Now we move down here.
and he has just a 3. So that's it.
So that kills this guy.
So he kills him, and he's removed from the game.
Kills himself.
And then it's your turn, sir.
Is there any other way to get warcasters, or is that it? One time, one shot?
One shot deal.
Okay.
I like how everyone switches that.
Spin 4.
Gotta get one of these before the game.
Yeah. Somebody's got to win location. Come on.
It's only 5 turns.
Actually, I'm not even sure it's possible at this point.
Yeah, it's too short.
So at this point, there's not even a chance for anyone to get a location?
They could. Because as soon as that card's flipped, it's as if all turns in. So if you have 2 cards on a location, when that card's flipped, you get the location.
You can win this.
So you are in a great spot right now.
I just choose a location that nobody has anything at.
That's it.
You're gonna win. By default.
I appreciate you
Right.
finally stepping into the battle. It's very considerate of you.
Well, that was one thing I noticed is that Ron's been the first player the whole time. Is he
Yeah.
supposed to switch off or something?
I think it's,
All right,
the
so-
first player stays the first player the entire time.
That-
Okay.
I arbitrarily
Play that there.
But that means I gave you the power.
I know, it
Going
makes
last
them
is
kind of
actually
at
good
a disadvantage.
Well, they promised
do
me
me
great
this, I'll
things.
spin
and
that.
One of them delivered for sure.
Yeah.
Play that there.
The other one towed in a little bit at the very end. I mean, you tried to redeem yourself,
I
right?
never
did.
promised that I would attack.
And then
No, you said third turn. You said the
you're
third
right.
turn.
Third
turn.
You
Four.
did. Guarantee
Nope.
you didn't say you would attack first 2 turns.
by this guy.
Remember to refresh. Good job. Probably not.
Yeah,
I'm glad that you finally decided to attack, though.
right.
Then I'll spend 2 for this guy.
I'm actually surprised that you rushed
Spend
it.
just one
Yeah,
less.
Well, that's
already
cool.
got
I'm glad that
planned.
you did
Ready?
that. I completely forgot about
There's
that.
3 command, and that's how much he
I
costs.
actually
Alright, so we're
should
gonna
have sent my warcasters out instead of.
There's 6 war,
I did. I bought like another card.
and that's how
Now
much.
I
remember,
bought this guy
One less.
instead, which
It's
wasted
one
a bunch
less.
of resources. But,
Well, they're 2
Oh,
each, so it doesn't
Rushing.
matter.
but I had no
Very nice.
strategy
Are you
set
done?
up, and then that card
That's
screwed
all I can
everything
do.
up.
All right,
And then-
it's your turn. What happens?
This turn, we're just gonna flip this over, and the game's gonna be over because she's gonna take the.
All right, so now
Haha.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
each location Each location that has 2 cards on it, or 2 more than any other opponent scores. So you score this guy.
Yay.
These go into your discard pile.
Okay.
He goes up here. You score this location. Discard pile. Up here. Make sure you don't get that.
Go here when you take their.
It's not gonna matter because now we're gonna add up victory points. You get your guy back.
Oh
you
yeah,
get your
but
guy
they
back.
would.
Now they would. Yes, you're absolutely correct. You're going to take your army deck, your discard pile, and your occupying forces pile. You're going to go through and search for victory point cards. Here.
Sure, I'll do that. So,
What about anything saving?
Yes, that's fine.
So it has to say 50 points.
Just not the reserve or the reinforcement deck and the reinforced line. You cannot buy those. You don't get it. And then you're going to add up your victory points. You're going to add up your victory points. Whoever has the most wins.
I got 5. Yeah. Which is less than even the one location that you got.
You ready? You're gonna film my victory points.
Let's do this.
All right. There's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12 total?
12?
12. It's a tie.
Yeah, 12.
Paper, rock, scissors.
What's a
I'm a black
tiebreaker?
belt,
Yeah.
Rochambeau.
I honestly don't know. I have never had.
That's it. Rochambeau.
Win. We win. We are the winners.
Yeah, what does
We are
that
And he's
mutual
just trying to make
winners.
this.
Okay, we're gonna see what the tiebreaker is.
What'd you get, Ross?
I got 5 as well.
Hey,
Aha.
alright, we got a tie break too.
In the case of a tie, the player with the most locations wins the game. In the rare case that all people tie, that would be you two, making life extra difficult. The player earliest in the turn order wins the game.
Boom, that'd be you. I still think we should have done rock, paper,
I thought it was
scissors.
going to be the player with the brightest hair.